Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Z box card. It opens up like that, which is very much like a double Z card, but this is all one piece, whereas a double Z card, that's one piece and then that's another. And it does have a backing piece that really finishes it off beautifully. So I am changing my colour scheme and I'm going to be using Poppy Parade. I'm going to tell you the sizes of everything that you need, but on here I have one designer series paper at the top there and a different one here, which is what I'm going to be doing with the Poppy Parade, but obviously different papers. And also to let you know that there aren't any metric measurements for this one. And the reason I gave up, I did write down all the sections and everything that you needed, but I couldn't work out, because that fold line isn't halfway, then it threw me to check whether I had actually done the measurements correctly. So I haven't done them. As you know, I do try and do them whenever possible, but I'm not a metric person and sometimes it does just floor me, like today I'm afraid. So to start off with the card pieces you're going to need: a piece of Poppy Parade which measures 4 inches by 9 3/4 inches, and then a piece, now I'm not sure whether I want to use white or Poppy Parade, it's this bit here at the back. I don't know if I want to do tone on tone or to have the red going on the white. I'll know better once I see what it looks like when I get there. So whatever colour you're going for, this needs to be 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And then Whisper White pieces, you need, first of all, these 3 pieces are all by 2 7/8 inches, but this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 inches. This is 4 3/8 by 2 7/8, and this is 2 1/8 by 2 7/8 inches. And then for the bar at the front, you need 3 pieces that measure 7/8 of an inch wide, and they need to measure 5 1/8 inches, and both of these are 2 1/8 inches. And then for what I'm going to call the main designer series paper, these should measure, all of them are by 2 3/4 inches. Be careful if you're using a directional pattern, and I have noticed that what I should have done is I should have got those lined up, but it's not that easy because these sheets come in 6 by 6, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. So these measure, let's see, all by 2 3/4 inches. So that one is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This one is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and this is 2 3/4 by 2 inches. And then the contrast, now that one, sorry, was from the designer series paper stack, the 6 by 6 in Poppy Parade, and this one is from the Painted Seasons, which is one of the free gifts that's available during celebration till the end of March. You can get the paper as a free gift on its own as a level 1 gift, or you can get it as a bundle with the stamp set as a level 2 gift. I am using the stamp set today, so by the time I finished it might give you an idea what you'd like to do. So this, they all measure 3 3/4 of an inch, and this one measures 5 inches, and both of these measure 2 inches. Okay. Right, so I think the first thing we will do is we will prepare the card base, the main piece. So what you need is your scoreboard or your trimmer if that's what you prefer to use. I will be using my trimmer as well, but just to start this bit off, you need to score at 5 1/4 inches, and you will notice that this side is bigger than this side, and this is what floored me when I got to the metrics. So once you've done that, then you need your trimmer and let me just double check my instructions before I talk. Now you need to put the larger piece up at the top, line this up at 1 inch, okay, so that's there, just checking that you can see me, and then with your blade, your cutting blade, you need to cut from 3 inches down to 7 1/2 inches. Once you have done that, you need to turn your cardstock so that you've got your large piece on that side. Let me just double check this. How does she do that? Right, okay. With the large piece on that side, oh that's right, because she had her cutting down there, didn't she? Right, okay. We have got our large piece here, and we've got our cut down at the bottom. So line this up at 3 inches. Okay, so just to reiterate, this bit here is the longer bit, that's the shorter bit, and you've got your cut line down here. If you measure up, if you line up at 3 inches there, making sure your cardstock is up against the barrier, you should find that it is lining up with your cut mark, but you're not cutting on this occasion. You need to score. So I'm going to score with my scoring tool, and you've got to go from the cut line up to the top, so you're scoring on the long part. Okay, I just went over the edge a bit there, but never mind. Now line your cardstock up at 7 1/2 on that side. Okay, with your, you should find that your cut there ends at this mark here, and what you need to do is score on this last little 1 inch. So what you finish up with is the one that is your main one, which goes through both pieces, top and bottom of the cut line, and then on this side you've got the 3 inches, which is on the longer side, and then you've got the shorter one on the shorter side. Oh, that's easy to remember. Right, okay, so now to fold this, you need to, let me just double check this, that is the longer side. Right, I always fold mine in the wrong way and then have to turn it the other way round. So we are going to have, that's the long one. Right, okay, so, well, don't worry about it, whichever way you do it. If it's wrong, you can fold it the other way. So just push that one up first, fold that one, which is sort of the centre, and then let that one fold there, and then this one fold here. So what you should find is as you're folding these, that will fold like that, and that will come over. Alright, so you finish up like that. So it's like the double Z card, it's just that, as I say, this is one piece rather than attaching another. So let's move this out of the way. And we're going to use a bone folder just to make sure that our creases are good, and to make sure that our creases are actually lining up. Now that is what I didn't do with that other card, and it didn't line up perfectly. Unfortunately it was close enough, which I'm never very happy with. And then this one under here as well. Just make sure that's nice and straight. Okay, now is that the right way round? No, it's got to be that way. So yeah, I've done it back to front again, haven't I? So that is back to front. So what I need to do is reverse all of my folds. That's better. Okay, that is the correct way for it to be. I'll just double check that my folds are all okay. Okay, so that is now our large panel, because the one that was larger has now been split into two. Okay. Brilliant idea. Don't know who worked this one out. I got the idea from a video that I saw, and it had been made by Deb Vowder, who used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she did it in collaboration with Split Coast Stampers. Split Coast? It's definitely Split Coast anyway. Right, so we now have our card. So we're going to start by putting it all together. When I told you the cardstock, I also forgot to tell you that you need scraps of Poppy Parade and Whisper White. That's for your flowers, sentiment, and for the little doily I've got here. And again, for this one, I don't know whether I'm going to be using a red doily or a white doily. But I find that with such a strong colour, it's a lot more difficult to decide what colours you're going to use until you actually get to the point of adhering everything together. So I'm going to do these big pieces first. Right. And I've got a nice bottle, new bottle of Tombow. For a horrible moment there, I thought I'd done that wrong. No, that's all right. At least I shouldn't have any hassle from Tombow today. I suppose it's possible it might start coming out too quickly. Right, so that's that one. Actually, if I put that design on, I wouldn't have to worry about them matching up, would I? Well, it's still... No, stick to your stripes. It'll be fine. I'm sure it's the kind of thing that would irritate some people, but although I like things just so, there are times when I can just let go. You know, it's the kind of thing that I wished I'd had thought about when I first did it, but I didn't. Now this one's an actual square, so just be careful if you've got a directional pattern, just be careful which way you're putting it on. Oh, I know, turn it around. In fact, this is not a good idea. What I should be saying to you is, as you're putting this on, do the next piece to it so that you can make sure your white follows, it keeps everything in the same line, like that. So you've got the white going along, and then if you do it with the designer series paper too. It looks as if I might have got away with that. This is the first time I think I've ever thought of a disadvantage of having 6x6 sheets. Try and get these to line up, but I don't think that's going to notice at all. Unless you're watching the video, of course, because I've pointed it out to you. Okay, so that's fine. Now we can do these pieces. This has got to be a much quicker way of doing the Z fold card. Oh, that's good. That almost covers up where I did the scoring, the partial score too far. I do like this Poppy Parade. I think it's a much softer red. I mean, I love real red because it is so bold and definite. But sometimes it's nice to have what I call a softer red. There we go, nearly done. Oops. Okay, so keep that like that. So that's our basic card. This needs to be adhered onto here, so I think I'd prefer to have it on my, oh I don't know, oh my goodness no, I think I prefer it on red. Okay, I'm very surprised at that, but I'll leave it a bit longer. I think I don't have to do it right now. So let's do our stamping. And this, right, let me tell you the stamp sets we're using. First of all, it's a Painted Seasons. Now this is a stamp set that goes with this designer series paper, which is also called Painted Seasons. And it now, just for March, you can buy a set of dies that go with it. So you can die cut these, which is what we're going to be using. I'll be using that one. And the leaves, you got 2 dies for that one. It's like these, you got 3 of that one, 2 of that one. But these are, you can buy these, but it will be just during March. So you could have the whole caboodle, that and that and that. So that's one set of dies we're using. Another set is, I'm going to be using the No. 2 stitched circle framelit, and that's for the sentiment. And the actual sentiment is from Butterfly Gala, and it's "The good things in life are better with you." And for the doily thing here, more like a wreath really, because it's hollow. This is from Doily Builder, and the one I'm using is this one here. I'll just show you what other bits and pieces you get with this. It's called Doily Builder, but you get all of these in here. So that's brilliant, that is. That one there, you can either cut that as a doily in your cardstock, or if you put that die around it, it will actually cut it out so it's standalone. But that's lovely, that is. Right, so what do we need? I have done all my flowers and all my leaves ahead of time. So that's the flower that I'm using. That's the leaf. The colours that I'm using are Poppy Parade, and my leaves are going to be in Granny Apple Green. What did I do with... Oh, I decided I didn't need any. I was normally have some scrap paper to stamp on, but I'm not using any because I'm not planning to go over the edge. Okay, so you want 5 of these. So it's just as well, you've got 2 different dies for it. And I'll put that one away. This stamp set is one of our distinctive stamp sets. So when it stamps, it gives you all of that detail there. It's absolutely stunning, really is. So we need to cut those, and that. We don't need 2 of those since I've already done them. We need that. I think that piece is smaller, isn't it? Yep, that'll go onto there. And the sentiment, so let's stamp that as well. I think I want that in red, don't I? Don't want it in green. I don't think. Right, so there we go. So that's all the stamping. Just need to do the die cutting. I'll just move these bits out of the way and I'll bring my big shot up. make sure that you're in view. I'm going to cut these pieces so they're separate. One, it means I can do all of them at the same time, and also if any of them start jumping, then I can follow them around. Right, so first of all, the flower. I find the flower easiest to line up by looking at that. It's the only bit that's really, well, straight. All the others have got bumpy bits. This is the one most likely to jump. That come down a bit first. And sentiment. And can we move you over a bit? Come on, stop messing about. That should be fine. Now we get our doily on here. No right or wrong there. If it fits, it's good to go. Right, there we go. I think the leaf might have jumped. It did. Good job I don't need it. Flower. That's fine. Don't need it, but that'll do for another project. A sentiment I do need. Oh, you're going to have to do that again. Didn't judge that very well, did I? Let me just finish off this bit first. I've only put it through once, haven't I? I don't know how many times this needs to go through because I'm not using my precision base plate or anything. But what I've done so far is I've just put it backwards and forwards twice. And it has popped out brilliantly. Right, I'll just put that on the side for the time being while I just redo my sentiment. Let's just move that out of the way. Right, here we go. And red ink. I'm surprised that that was too close to the edge. That should be better. Let's try that again. In fact, we cut it off. Right, bring you back in shot so you can see me. And there we go. that. Not sure if I can salvage that for anything. So we get rid of this and I can do my wreath. Oh, it's falling out by itself here. And I did bring over, yep, my die brush. Right, that bit will just pop out. It is a shape on its own. I mean, you could use that on its own, but I'm not sure it's... Oh, I don't know. That almost looks like the sun, doesn't it? I think I'll keep that. Just looking at it on its own, I didn't think it would be anything that I would use. There we go. Got one bit there and one bit there. Isn't that pretty? I think it's just so lovely. Most of it's out. I'll clean that up later. Right, okay. So do I want to have red with white, or do I want to have white with red? White obviously stands out a lot better, doesn't it? Do I need it more discreet? Let's try putting our flowers on first. Okay, so this is the first one. They've all got their dimensionals on and they're all... I've taken all the backings off so they are ready to go. Now the first one I am going to put like that. I'm going to put a leaf, top and bottom. Now on this, let me just show you this against one of our envelopes so you see, in fact you need to see it with this, don't you? Because that's going to be the base of it. So that's how our card will be fitting into the envelope. So if you've got bits coming off from the sides, that's okay, but you don't really have much room top and bottom. Okay. So that's on that alright. Let's put... Now let me just bring my card in, see how I did it, because I know that's all fits in. I must have put this a bit higher, I think. Let me move it so that you can see it as well. You can see what I'm trying to do. That's the top, isn't it? I said don't do the top. You can cut the bottom of the stem off. That might make it a bit easier to get it to go in a bit further. Well, that's okay because it's going to go over a little bit, isn't it? I've got a little bit of extra room for there. Also, yeah. Don't get rid of that one. Now this, you have to be careful because you've got the fold there. Oh, I came down this side. That's alright, quite happy with that. And then I'm going to put my other flower in so that you can't see it when this one's closed. I don't want it peeping out. There we go. Again, I don't want my leaves to be showing through. Let's take the stem off of that one as well. I keep bumping into the dimensional under there. There we go, that's a good one. And we had another one up here, didn't we? So that's okay. And then the third one. Fifth one rather. Now with that, what I did with that one was I let it come through the cut there. That's right. It's okay. I didn't have to cut any stems off of that blue one. Right, that's better. There we go. So I don't mind that going in there, but I didn't want anything coming out. So now I'm going to put on here, I wish I could hear you shouting at me, use a white base or use the red base. I think that's a little bit too stark, although if you did that, oh, there we go, maybe that's what I should be doing. Or if we do that, don't think so. No, I think I am going to go with white and white. Definitely, no doubt about that at all. Right, so to adhere this onto here, all we're going to do is put adhesive on this bit, this little L shape, and then we're going to line it up on this side, so there'll be some plain exposed there. You see the green bit there? Okay, so we'll have white on here. So I'm using Tombow. And the beauty of Tombow is you've got time to move your card around so you're happy that it's centered on your base. Okay. So yeah, I think that's going to be best. Right, I'm going to put Tombow on the back of this, and I know what I wanted. I wanted a scrap piece of paper to blot this on, didn't I? I've got a new Tombow here, so it may well come out quicker than I want it to. If it comes out at all. Oh, come on. You can't be gummed up. Not so soon. Whoops, now it's coming out. Maybe I should have used our multi-purpose adhesive sheets. That would have got it all stuck down beautifully. I really must get into the routine of using that more frequently because it's brilliant stuff. It really is amazing. Oh, come on. Okay, use the pointer as a brush. That's one way of doing it. Never tried that before. In fact, I really should put it on my silicone mat. Today, all day I've been struggling with my almost empty Tombow, and I thought I'll start a new one for the video. That'll make life so much easier. It hasn't though. Right, I think that's probably enough on there. Just blot it down in case. Right, now this just goes over the edges slightly. That's about uniform, I think. So there we go. Now this one I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. These are my big ones. Into the centre. Yes, I'm definitely glad that I used the white background. I think it's brightened such a solid colour. Now I did have a butterfly. There we go, there it is. Which is from the Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper, and it's this one here where you can use your punch and punch out these. So I need a green one, and I know I don't have any already punched out, so I am going to just cut out the one that I need, and I'm not going to be able to hold that, so I need a little piece of cardstock to act as a handle for me. And what I'm going to do is just put some snail on there. Butterfly's got to go in that way. Okay, so I've extended my handle. Can put the butterfly in there, so that's all right. And I think on this one I've come a bit lower, have I? Maybe not. I'm going to use Tombow, if he'll work. I folded it so that I got a flat line there on the body. And I just put some, oh yes, well done, just put some Tombow on there. And this time I think I'm going to put some rhinestones up there. I'm going to do 3 again like I did on the other one. in a straight line. Which I'm not sure that one is it? That's better. And let's have some little ones on the butterfly. Oh, got two stuck together there. There we go. And the final thing that I did on this was when I made the card that I showed on my blog today, which is this one, which is using the same flowers, I put 6 little pearls in the centre there, which I thought looked rather pretty. But I can't do it to this one because it means I would have some in there as well. And if I put some on there, it would look odd not to have them there. So I use my Winkle Stella. And it probably won't show up, but it does in real life. In fact, this is actually spreading the ink as well. I'm not sure it did that on the blue one. But that's alright because I think it'll just make it that little bit more obvious. There we go. So that's today's project. A Z box card. I hope you like it and I hope you give it a try. Yep, that's it. Lots of other things you could do really. You know, I'm looking at this, could be more of a decoration there and sentiment along there. And sentiment, where would I write my greeting? I would just write it straight on the back. I did think about leaving this one white, so go there, but if it's sitting on the side and you've got visitors, you know, you don't really want people to see what greetings have been sent to you, do you? But there we go. Do you know, I think I prefer this red one to the blue one. Let me know what you think. So there we go. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always very happy to help you and I enjoy reading your feedback. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, there'll be a link in the box below the video for my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. And all the measurements and the products and the score lines and everything, they will be in the box below the video. The box is only accessible if you're on YouTube, and depending on what device you're watching on, you'll either see on the left hand side underneath some writing it will say show more, or on the right hand side there'll be a couple of one or two down arrows. As I say, depends what you're watching on. Just click on it and it opens the box up and there'll be masses of information in there and the links that you need as well. And finally, if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button, which is down there in the right hand corner, and then click on the bell to say that you want the email notifications. And finally, this is my HOSTESS code for March 2019. So if you place an order online, please remember to quote that, and then that means I can send you some free product at the end of the month, well, beginning of April really. But it's a great way of saying thank you for shopping with me. Your business really is appreciated. So many thanks for joining me today. Have a great weekend. Until tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Until next time. Happy crafting. Cheerio.